morning to you, our viewers. Welcome again to another exciting edition of the Camnet TV Breakfast Show. In studio with me is Boram Shala, my colleague, and I'm your host, Miriam Kaimba, and we're going to be taking you in an hour or so where we're going to be talking about various issues affecting our country. And at 0730, we're going to be joined by a guest from the church, where we're going to be talking about, the role that the church plays in terms of, bringing unity in the country. And at 8 hours, we'll be looking at trending, the issue of soybeans, where, government has rescinded its decision, because earlier on they announced that they were not going to be buying soybeans from farmers because FRA, the Food Reserve Agency, had enough in stock. But now they rescinded their decision, and now they said they will be buying soybeans at 6 kwacha. So you should call us and give us what you think about that. Good morning, Zipporah.
Good morning, Miriam, and good morning to our lovely viewers out there. It is another wonderful Monday. We're getting ready for the rest of the week.
Cold Monday. I was feeling cold.
It's getting cold now.
Yeah, it is. And I think I've started developing flu. Yeah, I don't know.
Hope it's not COVID. I've been warned about COVID. So get that flu tested, Miriam, before we hear something. And I don't know why COVID seems to come back now, because last year it was really inconveniencing the academic calendar.
Yeah.
And people thought, okay, everything has gone, but then it seems to be back. What are we going to do? I just hope we'll not have those closures.
I think this is a time where we should take necessary measures and not, wait until like last time what happened, where we saw, children not going to school for 3 months, stuff like that. I think we should put in certain measures that are going to help us, prevent those inconveniences. Yeah. Definitely.
Anyway, Miriam, today we have a very interesting topic for our viewers. At 7:30, we're going to be joined by a guest from the Evangelical Fellowship of Zambia, who's just going to help us, discuss many issues, pertaining to unity in the country, the church. And at 8 hours, of course, like you mentioned, we expect our calls from our viewers out there just giving their take on soybeans. And Miriam, I'll tell you, when I was in Katete, I talked to some farmers, and they would like, to have some profit from their soybeans. So according to them, they said they had a lot of challenges. Their soybeans was attacked by aphids and, climate change. So they're saying they've got very low yield. So they're saying they'd like to maximize profit. And in the same way that the FRA, has rescinded this decision earlier, it was saying to not buy, now it's saying it to buy. So they're saying it should also consider, changing from 6 kwacha to at least something profitable.
Yeah, I think 6 kwacha is too low. Anyway, that's my opinion. But anyway, right about now, go direct into our healthy corner and just see what the doctors have for us this morning.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Health Corner on the Breakfast Show today. My name is Dr. Namunji Matale. I am the Public Health Chairperson for Resident Doctors Association of Zambia UTH branch. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. And today's topic is World Sickle Cell Day. We are celebrating World Sickle Cell Day globally, and I'm so excited for you to join us on this very interesting yet very important topic. So we'll dive right into it. So what is sickle cell? You might be wondering, okay, what is sickle cell? Why are we even commemorating World Sickle Cell Day? So sickle cell is a very common disease, not only in our country, but several parts of the world. And it is an inherited disease where one inherits 2 faulty genes from their parents, from both parents, which codes for what we call hemoglobin in someone's red cells. You do understand that everyone has red blood cells, the cells that give our blood the red color that it has. So in those red blood cells, there's a pigment called hemoglobin. Now, the disease sickle cell comes from hemoglobin that's not properly coded for because of a faulty gene. And like I mentioned earlier, this gene is inherited from both parents. Now, sickle cell has many different diseases or conditions under it. One of the most common being sickle cell anemia, but that'll be a topic for another day. However, it's important for us to know that sickle cell anemia and sickle cell disease is a very important condition. It's very common here in our country. And statistics right now show that 1 in 5 people are actually carriers of the sickle cell gene. So you might be wondering, okay, why should we bother commemorating World Sickle Cell Day? It's because this condition, if it goes unnoticed early or not screened early, it tends to have very serious complications. So it's important for us to get screening done early on so that the condition is managed for a lifetime, basically. So that's about sickle cell. It's a condition that affects the hemoglobin in our red blood cells. It can lead to many complications. I'm sure some of you have come across a patient who has sickle cell disease. They'll tell you they were in a crisis, or a painful crisis being one of the most common ones. And if it's a child, you find that they stay away from school for a very long time. Some of the complications include even having a stroke, always having low blood because the blood is being destroyed, and the like. So it's a very serious condition that needs to be paid attention to. And like we said, in the Zambian population, 1 in 5 people actually carries the sickle cell gene. And on the global front, it's very common in sub-Saharan Africa, in South America, as well as some parts of Asia. And it's responsible for a number of hospital admissions. Personally, in my very short but recent practice, there is no day that goes by without admitting a sickle cell patient to the ward or our admission ward. So it's that much more common in Zambia, and that is one of the reasons why we're joining the rest of the world today in commemorating World Sickle Cell Day. So the 2023 theme for this year is actually strengthening sickle cell communities globally, formalizing newborn screening, and knowing your sickle cell disease status. If we try to break down this theme, you might ask yourself, okay, why do we need to strengthen these communities? Sickle cell disease, really, when we look at it, it's a lifelong commitment. It's kind of like someone living with diabetes or living with HIV who's going to be on drugs for a very long time. So it's not something that we can say we can just treat in a day and it disappears. It's a lifelong commitment. It's costly. Thankfully, some of the drugs that we use in this country are actually on NEMA, and I'll use this opportunity to encourage people to register for NEMA. Back to the topic, it's important for us to strengthen communities because this is a costly disease to have. It's costly on the part of money, it's costly on the part of time, and even one's mental health, because when undermanaged or even just under certain circumstances, one finds themselves in hospital a lot of the time. So we need to do our part in strengthening communities. When we break down another part of the theme, newborn screening, the beauty about sickle cell is screening can happen at the newborn stage. When a person is still a baby, it can be detected. Normally, we screen children for sickle cell disease as early as 3 months old. Currently in our country, we have newborn screening taking place from Ndola Teaching Hospital as well as University Teaching Hospital in Lusaka. And some NEMA accredited laboratories also do the screening as well. So we can do the screening as early as 3 months old, and it's important for it to be formalized and become a part of routine, so to speak, at the hospital, so that we can catch the disease early and begin treatment early, so that we can improve someone's quality of life, okay? And the third part of the theme is about knowing your sickle cell status. Remember, like I said, on the Zambian front, 1 in 5 people is a carrier for the sickle cell gene. So meaning when you're in a group of friends, maybe you're out at lunch, or you're at work and you're about 5 of you, 1 of you could actually be a carrier for sickle cell disease. So it's important for you to know your sickle cell status by getting screened. There's a number of laboratories that do the screening process. There's about 2 tests that are done. There's one that's confirmatory and one is more of like a screening test just to see if you're likely to have it or not. So there's the sickling test and what we call HB electrophoresis, which is kind of more confirmatory. So a sickling test basically sees if your red blood cells sickle, they form a banana shape, okay? And then if that test is confirmed, that's when they go ahead and do what we call HB electrophoresis, which is the confirmatory test. It will show that you actually carry the gene for sickle cell disease, or you actually carry what we call HBS and how much of it. Yeah. So that's basically the importance of celebrating World Sickle Cell Day, and that's the importance of this year's theme. So tomorrow we're going to delve into a whole other part of it, which is sickle cell anemia, which is one of the types of sickle cell diseases. And then we're going to delve into other forms of anemia just to shed more light on what sickle cell is and what it's all about and the importance of knowing your sickle cell status. Thank you so much for joining us. We hope you enjoyed it, and do tune in tomorrow to hear more about sickle cell anemia.
Quite interesting there. So that was our health corner there with the doctor who was just telling us about World Sickle Cell Day. You know, Miriam, most of us when here, you know, these pieces, bits and pieces about sickle cell. You know, no, people say, no, that one is going to die.
Exactly.
No, this, I think there's
like what you were telling
sensitization.
me. Yeah, like what you were telling me, that you know, you believed that one of your friend was going to die
By certain age, because
By
that's what
certain
we always
age.
told. No, if someone has sickle cell, by this age they're going to die. You know, I think the need for sensitization around sickle cell and you know, maybe early, okay, like the doctor mentioned, it's a lifelong, you know, illness or condition, but
It's like someone with diabetes, but you know
it can be managed.
But the good part, I love what the doctor mentioned there, is that when it's detected earlier, when you're still a baby, you know, it can be controlled. That's the goodness.
I think so, rather than waiting when someone is older. So I think there's need for sensitization. You know, people have got all these rumors, and I think this leads to depression for people with sickle cell.
Imagine growing up and then you're told, okay, because you have this type of condition, you're going to die at a certain age.
It disturbs you. You don't even have goals. You don't have dreams. You just become a depressed person, and that is horrible.
Yeah.
Anyway, but I'm sure with the doctor there, Miriam, I'm going to get educated for the rest of the week. And let's just take a look now at the money market and see how our kwacha is performing. So we have the Great British Pound buying at 24 kwacha 59 way, selling at 25 kwacha 07 way. The United States dollar buying at 19 kwacha 18 way, selling at 19 kwacha 56 way. The euro buying at 21 kwacha 0 way, selling at 21 kwacha 42 way. The South African rand buying at 1 kwacha 05 way and selling at 1 kwacha 07 way. So Miriam, our US dollar there to the kwacha is on the 19 kwacha mark on both and moving towards 20 kwacha again.
I think we need it. We need the $1 you know, to maintain maybe at 15, to be constantly there. It keeps on this thing of fluctuating from 19, 18, 20. It's disturbing us. Yeah.
So we do hope, you know, that we move towards that trajectory. And just now take a look at some of the stories that made headlines yesterday on the community desk. And you know, interestingly, one of them was done by Patrick Soko, who was talking about skin bleaching. So where did this thing come from? You know? Okay, I don't know, but I used to hear a long time ago that, oh, maybe most men from Congo are bleached, but now even in Zambia.
Even in Zambia,
it's coming, but what could be the reason? You know, I'm one person who's never felt the need saying, let me bleach. It has never crossed my mind. You know, there's someone, I think when I was about, is it 18 or something, there's a man who said, you know, you should never bleach. I'm like, I'm not not even thinking about it.
Yeah.
It was like, maintain your skin color, don't be like these girls, you should never be like, it doesn't even cross my mind. But maybe it is common and many people, are doing it. But anyway,
But at the end of the day, according to the information that we have gotten for a medical expert, is that when you continue using such products, you will end up getting cancer, which is a danger to your life. Yeah, I wonder why people do that, despite receiving such warnings that if they continue doing that, they will have cancer and other diseases in their body. Yeah.
And even when you have an operation, you can't be stitched. Imagine you're stitching on tissue paper, more like. So your skin becomes so light. But anyway, what is your take out there on skin bleaching? We're discussing trending issues right now before our main topic at 8 hours. So just now open up our phone lines and you can give your voice on various trending issues. Right now we're discussing skin bleaching. And so this story reads, an anti-bleaching activist, Beatrice Kunda, has expressed concern at the continued increasing number of women and men in Zambia bleaching their skin. Mrs. Kunda tells Camnet TV News that bleaching is slowly being taken as normal among men and women in the country. She says bleaching has many effects on the human body, such as cancer, failure to put stitches after a surgery operation, and complications in the fetus, among others. Mrs. Kunda has since discouraged Zambians from bleaching their skin, but says they should look for available cosmetic solutions, cosmetic lotions that will take care of their skin.
Quite interesting.
I think it's all about inferiority complex. You think, a fairer skin is better than yours.
It's better, and it's because the sad part is because we have seen a lot of people, taking this as a norm, especially on social media when you see different people, they're selling products, or you want to have a fair skin and stuff like that. But who told you that you can't have a fair skin until you bleach your skin?
And I've seen videos, Miriam, very disturbing. If you've seen these videos of these women
from Nigeria.
I think from Nigeria, where they are covering the whole body in something that looks like charcoal.
Charcoal, yes. And
like
then
charcoal, then they start scrubbing. Then they pass them, is it near a heat? They put them near heat, then now they start washing their skin and it's yellow. Like, they remain yellow. And then, like, people are courageous. They are getting your skin peeled off. Are you a snake or something? They are really courageous. So anyway, let's just take a look at that story from Patrick Soko from the Anti-Bleaching Association.
Of bleaching on women, they have skin cancer. Bleaching causes skin cancer. On women who are pregnant, when they are bleaching, eventually the bleaching ingredients, the steroids affect the born baby, and sometimes the baby is born with complications of bleaching. And apart from that, when there are complications during delivery and there is need for cesarean section, they can't be stitched because the skin can't close. Yeah, those are the dangers. Apart from that, some lose eyesight because those chemicals penetrate through the eyes and start causing the eyes to have problems.
Quite interesting. Those are some health concerns being raised there by the Anti-Bleaching Association. But anyway, moving forward, I did an interesting story from Shangombo District, where it reads some residents in Shangombo District of Western Province are not receiving the social cash transfer funds based on witchcraft claims. That is very interesting. Social cash transfer and witchcraft. In an interview with Camnet News, headman Masiala says a lot of people have begun bewitching each other over social cash transfer due to jealousy. Meanwhile, the headman says there is a high level of illiteracy in Shangombo as majority depend on those who are educated to resolve conflicts in the village. So Miriam, I'm wondering, how much is social cash transfer? Of course, I know maybe for our viewers out there.
So the sad part, Zippo, is that a lot of people here. Anyway, we understand, that social cash transfer was introduced by government in 2003 to help, various vulnerable households to ensure that, they meet up their basic needs such as healthy school and the sort of like. But when you come to Shangombo district, you understand that Shangombo district is, this part of the country, which is, located in this western part, in the rural part of Zambia, where
life says, looks down on that, on that place. I think we need to develop
yes, we look down on, not even looking down, but when you talk about development, there's not much development there. And then a lot of people depend on social gas transfer. But the sad part is that after interacting with people there, like anyway, although we cannot prove allegations of witchcraft, Zipporah, the sad part is that, when you start receiving your social gas transfer, let's say for example, you Zipporah, someone would feel jealous because they know, okay, Zipporah, once Zipporah gets some money, she'll be able to do ABCD and stuff like that. So because they don't want to see you progress in life, anyway, others
400 kwacha.
Others would allege that a certain man, a wizard, would come at night and then have maybe sexual intercourse with you. So you find that now this led to people start relocating to nearby villages
Due to the same witchcraft.
Yes, due to the same witchcraft.
But I'm wondering, Miriam, for a social cash transfer is 400 kwacha,
yes.
and 800 kwacha for persons with severe disability.
Yes, severe disability.
So someone is going to be with you for 400 kwacha.
Well, looking at the place like I described, this is a rural area where there's no development. People depend on farming. Other people do not have, maybe 3 meals a day. And, this is a little money that they can get. For them, it's a lot of money. For them, it's a lot of money to do a lot of things.
Those who are rich, they get 400.
Exactly. For them, it's a lot of money to do. Especially if this family is getting 800 kwacha.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's a lot of money. So you find that, okay, anyway, these are the claims. We are yet to establish the truth anyway out of it. But anyway, these were just some of the concerns that a lot of people, brought out, because we did speak to the village headman there who, raised concern and saying, this is the sad part that people have been faced with in Changombo. And then the other thing, Zipporah, is that a lot of people in Changombo are not educated. There are schools there, only a few schools, but they are not educated. So you find that those who are educated are the ones who are solving conflict issues involving people in the village. So you find, Zipporah, if you're educated and then I wronged you, I cannot have a say, because you will be the judge if I was found in a certain conflict. You'll be there to judge me and say, no, Miriam, you were wrong. No, this was right. Mm-hmm. Those were the concerns. So, they were just calling on government to bring up, more schools, and then maybe introduce, different, services where, you can have elderly people, being taught different, academic lessons. I know a lot of people, because they are old, they wouldn't want to go back to school, but, there's another way where you can engage them so that people become informed and aware of certain issues. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'd rather be ignorant. Yeah.
Let's just take a look at that story and remember to join us in the conversation as we're discussing trending issues.
Social cash transfer plays a direct role in reducing poverty in Zambia. The cash transfer scheme aims to assist the most destitute and incapacitated households in society to meet their basic needs, particularly health, education, food, and shelter. However, in the western part of Zambia, to be specific, in Changombo district, it is said that a lot of people have allegedly begun to bewitch each other over social cash transfer due to jealousy. In an interview with Camnet News, Hetman Masiela alleges that many are forced to relocate to nearby villages due to the same. He has also alleged that there is an equal distribution of social cash transfer, as people that are seen to be educated are given more privilege.
Kufumane hakuri mwaminzi luli sina muba zama bangwala batu bafumana mali.
There is an equal distribution of social cash transfer, as people that are beefed off are the ones being given. People here in Changombo district have begun bewitching each other over social cash transfer due to jealousy.
Banani twaise basabanga hulu batubale mane babulera kuli hayibanji mutwele wa muzisa kwa kuhola kwale aholi mali ale peto wasaba kuloiwa.
Meanwhile, the headman says there is a high level of illiteracy in Changombo district, as the majority depend on those who are educated to resolve conflicts in the village.
in Shangombo district, there is a high level of illiteracy. You can walk about 90 kilometers just to find another educated person. So, most people depend on those who are educated to find solution and resolve conflict in the village. People here fear the educated ones. You can't voice out, even if the same person wrongs you, because you will need them in the future.
Through the Ministry of Community Development and Social Services, the government has been implementing the Social Cash Transfer Program since 2003. The program is also in line with government's 7th National Development Plan vision of accelerating development effort toward Vision 2030 without leaving anyone behind.
People are still complaining that they've been left out, but normally there is a guideline which is normally followed. So the enumerators are given guidelines and they are given tablets. So information is normally captured on the tablet whilst interviewing the beneficiaries, which immediately is uploaded on Zipsys. So it states what sort of a criteria that person was selected on. And then if at all they don't meet the need, they are normally dropped out from the system.
Miriam Kaimba, reporting for Camnet TV News. Quite a sad situation there in Shangombo district, but we hope that, at the end of the day, some of these issues that they're facing with regards to, to accessing the social cash transfer funds can be, solved and resorted. Very, very sad. Yeah.
Quite sad. So do call in and contribute on the various trending issues. Just now from playing a story from Shangombo, and earlier we were playing a story done by Patrick Soko on bleaching. And now we have a story by Miriam on defilement, and the story reads, a 40-year-old man from Samfya district of Lapula province has been arrested for defiling his 14-year-old stepdaughter. According to a statement issued by the police, the victim was defiled by her stepfather, only identified as Mr. Kaunda, in April of 2023, after her mother left home to work in the field for harvest for a period of time. Police Assistant Public Relations Officer Godfrey Chilabi says the victim was abused on multiple occasions and only revealed the ordeal to her grandmother in June, who reported the matter to the police. Meanwhile, the Zambia police have also arrested a 45-year-old man identified as Matt Zulu, who allegedly stabbing his wife, identified as Barbara Zulu, and another man who is suspected of being in a love affair with his wife. So these are criminal activities that have continued happening.
But okay, just anyway, let me start talking about the first story, the defilement story. I don't know what is happening, Zipo. We have stiffer punishment in relation to defilement, which is 15 years and above. But why have people continued defiling? Do you suggest that we make defilement a non-bailable offense?
I think we should make it a non-bailable offense. Maybe people will learn.
Yeah, I think so. I think we should treat defilement as the way we treat treason and other stuff. Because imagine this is a young girl, you destroy her innocence, or in fact you're just causing depression, damage upon her. She's young. You are a guardian, you're supposed to protect her. Imagine if you, the stepfather, you start doing such thing to your own daughter, someone you claim to be your own daughter. This is a person that you need to protect, okay? Anyway, imagine, Zippo, if maybe a boy would want, to abuse stuff like that, the girl child, the father will be there to protect the child, but if that thing is coming from your guardian, your relative, I don't know, it just doesn't sit well with me. I don't know why people...
Because, I'm wondering, where would the girl go? Exactly. She's 14, it's not like she's got a job. Where will she go?
She's 14, she doesn't have a job, she cannot take care of herself, and...
She's going to go back to that same stepfather.
And again, it is your responsibility. It is her right. It is her right that you protect her. it is a right that you provide for her because she's a minor, you know, she's a teenager. She's below the age of 16. So I wonder why people, and this myth that will continue, you know, getting from people that, you know, because I was taught by a certain witch doctor that if I do this, you know, I'll be cured. If I do this, I'll get rich. It's quite sad. It's quite sad, and it's destroying our country, our society. At the end of the day, Zipporah, we will have people who will tend to be savages. Imagine that young girl, if she doesn't get the counseling that she needs right now, you know, she'll grow up thinking that all men are the same. The abuse that she was treated with, she will still get it from someone else, of which is not the case. So I think, and again, you know, I would call for parents out there, you know, families out there who have, you know, relatives who have gone who have been involved in certain type of abuse, to, you know, to seek for counseling. Most of the time we ignore this thing. We ignore the fact that if someone has gone through an abuse, there's need for counseling. We ignore that. Most of the time, you know, I was covering a story last year of a minor who was defiled by, I don't know if it's the uncle. Yeah, she was being kept by the grandmother. The grandmother was physically abusing her. When the grandmother was physically abusing her, on the other side, the uncle was busy, you know, abusing, defiling the young girl. And they only came up to find out later that this young girl, apart from, you know, getting the physical abuse, she was also being defiled. But after the whole thing was done, I discovered that the girl did not go through counseling process, and we're talking about a minor who is only 3 years old. Now imagine she'll grow up thinking, okay, they're all the same. The trauma that, you know, 16 years down the line, she'll have these flashbacks, you know, pictures of what happened to her when she was young. Yeah.
That's really, really horrible. Now let's just take a look at that statement from the Zambia police.
Police in Samfya district of Lapula province arrested a 40-year-old man for allegedly defiling his 14-year-old stepdaughter. On June 17, 2023, around 12 hours, police received a report of defilement from the victim's 60-year-old grandmother, who reported on behalf of her granddaughter. The victim stated that she was defiled by her stepfather, only identified as a Mr. Kaunda of Samfya district, and police immediately instituted investigations into the matter. Preliminary investigations indicate that sometime in April 2023, the victim's mother left home to work in the field for harvest for a period of time, leaving the victim alone with his stepfather. The suspect would frequently enter the victim's bedroom and had carnal knowledge of her on multiple occasions. The victim was threatened with death if she disclosed the incidents to anyone. In June 2023, the victim revealed the ordeal to her grandmother, who promptly reported the matter to police. As a result of the abuse, the victim is said to be 1 month pregnant. The suspect is currently detained in police custody, awaiting court appearance. Meanwhile, in Solwezi district, police recovered 26 pieces of suspected elephant tusks and apprehended 1 suspect in connection with the same. This occurred on June 17, 2023, around 16 hours at the Mutanda police security checkpoint. A brief account of the incident is that alleged police officers manning the checkpoint intercepted a Lukumo bus with registration number SCZ01. The bus was en route from Mongo to Solwezi with passengers on board. During a thorough search of the bus, officers discovered 4 wrapped boxes containing pieces of suspected ivory tusks. The owner of the contraband fled the scene but was later apprehended in Solwezi town center. He has been identified as Kabanga Mutombo, a 45-year-old resident of Nangweshi in Sioma district, and is believed to be a Congolese national. The suspect has since been handed over to the Department of National Parks and Wildlife officers for further investigations. Police in Chongwe district arrested a 45-year-old man identified as Smart Zulu for allegedly stabbing his wife identified as Barbara Zulu, and another man who is suspected of being in a love affair with his wife. The incident occurred on June 17, 2023, around 17 hours in Chongwe district. Police received a report of unlawful wounding from two victims, namely Barbara Zulu, age 32, and Patson Kandela, age 39, both residents of Chongwe. They reported that they were unlawfully wounded by Mr. Zulu. Barbara Zulu sustained a deep cut on the head, while Patson Kandela sustained a deep cut on the abdomen and right hand. The facts in brief are that the suspect found his wife seated together with Patson Kandela and suspected them of being in a relationship. He then got a knife and stabbed both of them. The victims are admitted to Chongwe District Hospital, where they were rushed for medical attention. The suspect is currently detained in police custody.
Quite interesting and sad at the same time. Very sad to the man who stabbed the other man because he was suspecting that his wife was allegedly cheating on him, was rather having an affair with that particular man. Very, very sad situation there. And also, Zippo, like I said, it is quite a sad situation there for the young girl who is now pregnant at 14 for your stepfather.
That is quite unfortunate, and I think that should be made an example of. That should be made an example of to warn, would-be offenders.
Yeah, I think in my basically opinion, I suggest that defilement cases should be made a non-bailable offense, because we keep on increasing, we keep on recording, an increase in these cases. Every single day, a child is supposed to be defiled. Every single day. And there are some cases which go unreported too. Because I've heard stories where you would say, no, never family send up to police. Yeah. A lot
they hide it.
They hide it. And a lot of I attended a certain workshop where they were, talking about child protection. And this woman was busy telling us a counselor, she handled a certain case where this mother knew that her daughter was being defiled by the husband, her biological father. Yeah, and she was only 7. And the mother would tell the child, he's your father, there's nothing you can do. If you say something, we'll be chased here. I don't have money to take care of you. Yeah.
That is so unbelievable. But there's so many non-governmental organizations and people should take advantage of this.
Yeah, and I think there's need to do more sensitization. And
people need to be connected to these NGOs. That's because like a Young Women Christian Association, normally they shelter.
Yeah.
When someone is being abused in a home, they find for them shelter. I've actually, done some interviews with survivors. Girls, they're saying now I'm in university, I used to be abused at home. I was taken away from there and I was put in a shelter, and now I'm successful. It's really, disheartening.
Anyway, moving forward, we have now transitioned into our topic at 8, where we are looking at the decision by government, to start buying soybeans from farmers. It was, now they're saying at 6 kwacha, right?
Per kg, and 300 kwacha per 50 kg bag. So if you're a farmer, do go in and give us your take on this pronouncement from the Food Reserve Agency, which was made in Katete district of Eastern Province on Friday.
Anyway, let me just read the story that was done by on Friday. The Food Reserve Agency, FRA, has rescinded its decision not to buy soybeans for the 2023 crop marketing season, as earlier announced. FRA board chairperson Kelvin Ambwezia on the 17th of May 2023 announced that government will not be buying any soybeans because the agency had enough in reserves. And speaking during the launch of the 2023 crop marketing season in Katete district of Eastern Province Friday, the board chairperson, Mr. Ambwezia, says the board will now be buying a kilogram of soybeans at 6 kwacha and a 50 kilogram of bag at 300 kwacha. Meanwhile, Minister of Agriculture Ruben Piri says the decision by FRA to rescind its decision, it's a demonstration of a listening government which has heard the cries from the farmers and different stakeholders.
Here, let's just take a look at that story and do call in and comment. An outcry from farmers and other stakeholders in the agriculture sector has been ongoing in the country following the pronouncement from the Food Reserve Agency FRA on 17th May 2023 that it will not be buying soybeans in the 2023 crop marketing season as it was sitting on over 100,000 metric tons, which it was struggling to find market for. FRA chairperson Kelvin Hambweza announced that the agency has rescinded this decision and will keep farmers in their best interest. Mr. Hambweza was speaking in Katete district of Eastern Province during the official launch of the 2023 crop marketing season.
We are going to go in at the prevailing market prices. Once we put our house in order, we are busy mobilizing resources, funds, and so on, and we're making progress, Honorable. You know that. We'll buy soybeans at the prevailing market price, and the prevailing price, Honorable Minister, you'll be happy to know that it is about 6 kwacha per kilogram.
Minister of Agriculture Ruben Piri also spoke on the same, while warning smugglers of consequences.
Food Reserve Agency is going to buy soybeans, 100,000 metric tons of soybeans at 6 kwacha per kg, which reflects at 300 kwacha per 50 kg, or indeed 6,000 kwacha per metric ton. Do not engage in unregulated exports. Do not engage in smuggling, because 3 things will happen if you are caught. 1, you will lose your product. 2, you will lose your vessel. This
is a move that has elated stakeholders, including chiefs, who have been calling on the agency to rescind this decision.
This fertilizer that you start receiving as early as June, please, let's look after our fertilizer. Let's keep it in good, safe places, that should that time come, we have enough fertilizer. We shouldn't sell the fertilizer that will be given.
Happening in this country, anybody can set up a milling plant without any storage capacity. That can even take them up to a month or 2, because they know there is FRA. So I think the members of the millers of Sinobu Zambia, amongst yourselves, I think you can bring this requirement.
Yachimanga mitengo ya binzi mitengo ya sina zose zemene tirima kumunzi tamba mitengo kwata kali kuti azivomera mitengo ya ingono nzake romba.
Zipporah Mshala reporting for Camnet TV News. The news of the Food Reserve Agency deciding to buy soya beans in the 2023 crop marketing season came as a shock to many farmers and stakeholders in the agriculture sector, as the agency had announced in May that it had enough stock of soybeans, which it was struggling to find market for, and therefore had no plans to make any further purchase. This is a decision that was, however, reversed in a statement made in Katete district of Eastern Province on Friday by FRA board chairperson Kelvin Hambweza, who indicated that the agency would soon start buying soybeans at 6 kwacha per 1 kilogram and 300 kwacha per 50 kilogram bag. Some soybean farmers in Katete district, while stating that the announcement is a good move, have called on FRA to buy at 11 kwacha per 1 kilogram and 550 kwacha per 50 kilogram bag, as was the case in 2022.
Yeah, it reduced from last year.
The payments, because farmers are complaining that
yapwetera kumbuyo kuna bwana matenda ya chivawu yovaula mateko so apa ndrama tezelibe plus so mankhwala senze yazifakamo so tingapembe kuti bakabwera bakatiponzisa.
Meanwhile, Mtambilika village headman Samson Piri, who is also a soybean farmer, has added his voice.
Sono munga umuzakalira zakalabwino koma inatifuta ku soybeans chifukwa chakuti chaka chino harvest yakuta kunabwera chivawu chamene chinaoneka munga kuti ni mafits yaononga inalusanduka yelish so mukati moja unalooneka munga kuti maponds yalibokwanira bwino so harvest kuma farmers yabwera ku wiki mwaiti tipemba kuti baza agriculture baza mankhwala angabwera tiphunziseko so that itavuto ementa fesika yama tenda jamena ambwera ku soybeans yachoke kuti next season kachite harvest bwino.
They now await the Food Reserve Agency to officially announce when they'll start buying soybeans, while hoping that the price will be revised upwards. Zipporah Mshala reporting for Camnet TV News. And we do have a caller here on our breakfast show. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, how are you?
We're fine, thank you. Please tell us your name, where you're calling us from, and your contribution.
From Mumbai.
Okay, it's good to know that Mumbai is watching. Please go ahead.
Yes, on the service, to advise the government to buy more so that they sell and be able to buy maize outside. We don't get maize here. It's not enough. So the best thing they can do, they buy more service, if they sell, then they will also buy maize. Then two, we want to advise for the government to tell the farmers that this coming season, we are going to buy your crops so much. And now they must tell us the price of fertilizer so that people can make a decision. They know how to do their farming so far. So knowing how much they will sell their product, then after someone has labored, then you come and say we are buying your crop so much. The best thing they can do is tell us that soybeans of buying is so much, maize is so much, and the fertilizer is going so much. Then the farmers is very much prepared and be able to run the farming according to the directions from the government. That means keeping the farmers working without knowing how much they're going to sell their products, or they realize that they're not going to buy, or the price is just a quarter. You know, they have lost all what they have spent on. So probably you can ask the minister to tell the nation how far is the fertilizer program going on, how much are we going to buy. Then if that is the price, then we shall buy our product is so much. Then people will know. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. So that was his contribution. And you know, Miriam, there's one thing that I've just remembered which the minister also said. He said by 2026, you know, by 2025, actually, he said all fertilizer will be produced in Zambia.
Yeah, that will be a very good move. And this is what
for farmers under FISI.
Yeah, this is what people are now looking forward to. Of course, the issue of, you know, late distribution of fertilizer, when you talk about, you know, the price itself, these are the concerns.
And, you know, is it some areas, I've seen some areas where I've said receiving, is it for 2023, 2024 farming season?
But, you know, I just love the caller's contribution. I think, you know, I would, you know, concur with him. You know, government needs to tell farmers at what price they will be buying their products so that they can make an informed decision, and not when you have labored and then only to be told, no, we'll be buying, you know, your product at maybe a certain price of amount. Yeah, I think that becomes unfair. You'll need to prepare someone.
And also maybe there was also another call, you know, because this year the FRA says will buy 100,000 metric tons. So there's also a call to know next year are they going to be buying as well, so that farmers know where to farm exactly. Should they farm soybeans? But then also have the issue of briefcase buyers, you know, Miriam, who have allegedly been exploiting farmers, you know, buying as low as, is it 2 kwacha per kg? Previously, prior to the announcement, you know, that FRA would buy because they thought, oh, these people have nowhere to take their crops. So I think those are the things that farmers need to be protected from exploitation.
Especially if they notice that, okay, you're vulnerable. People usually take advantage.
And most of them, the ones I was talking to, they were saying right now our soybeans is just sitting at home because we're scared of selling it to briefcase buyers. You know, they wanted to buy as low as 2 kwacha per kg.
And you know, that is now a loss. When farmers telling you it's not just it's seated at home, we're failing to sell it off. That tells you something. Okay. Well, this someone invested whole time in, you know, ensuring that these products, if, you know, at the end of the day they have this crop, they need to sell it, but they can't sell it because of the price. it tells you something. You know that there's need to ensure that there's a win-win situation for both the farmers and government at the end of the day. And what we did earlier on played back-to-back the stories where soybeans farmers in Camnet district of Eastern Province have rejected the recent announced buying price for soybeans by the Food Reserve Agency. The farmers have called on the FRA to consider revising the price from the announced 6 kwacha per kilogram to at least 11 kwacha per kilogram. I think it's fair.
How much was government buying last year? 11 kwacha. And 550 for 50 kg. So those are the submissions.
And then now they're buying at 300 kwacha for a 50 kg.
And so the FRA has actually indicated, because even just the time when they made this the pronouncement, they visited some satellite depots, and the farmers heard the news. They were like, okay, we'll start bringing, but then they told them not yet. We're going to tell you. So they've not yet said when. Okay. They've just said 100,000 metric tons. So they're saying once they put the finances together, because the butcher person was saying it was also an issue of finances, because they failed to sell the previous. So they're saying they did not have given the finances to buy some more. So it says they will announce a date when they will start buying the soybeans. And what is your take? What is your take on that issue of soybeans? The Food Reserve Agency has said it will now be buying soybeans at 6 kwacha per kilogram and 300 kwacha per 50 kg back. So Miriam, the farmers have been taught to wait. You know how it is, like there can be so much misinformation.
There'll be so much misinformation.
Start taking their soybeans.
Yeah, and again, Zipporah, the thing is, again, the other complaint will be we have waited for too long. How long should we wait? Yeah. So I think they should have, government should have given, like a period, a time frame on when they will start getting and for how long. Yeah.
Definitely. Let's just take a look at the story that we did on 17th May 2023 with the Food Reserve Agency, Miriam, when they had earlier, said they will not buy soybeans. So let's just take a look at that story. Farmers across the country have been holding their breath in readiness for the 2023 food buying price from the Food Reserve Agency, FRA, as many of them say they have toiled and labored to protect their crops until maturity due to various factors like climate change and an increase in the cost of production. FRA board chairperson Kelvin Hambweza Thursday morning announced that the agency has also taken into consideration the said factors and has therefore set the buying price at 280 kwacha for a 50 kilogram bag of white maize from 180 kwacha in 2022, 200 kwacha for a 40 kilogram bag of paddy rice, the same as in 2022, warning that they will not buy any soya beans as they struggle to find soybean market and have carried over 100,000 metric tons. Mr. Hambweze asked that the agency will in 2023 operate 1,200 satellite depots to provide market for small-scale farmers across the country.
We'll be buying a bag of maize, 50 kg bag of maize, at 280 kwacha.
Not that bad.
We'll be buying one bag, 50 kilogram of maize at 280 kwacha a bag, which translates to 5,600 kwacha a ton. Last year we were buying at 180 kwacha a bag. We have increased the price by 100 kwacha. So we're buying at 280 kwacha per 50 kilogram bag of maize. This price, ladies and gentlemen, is cost reflective. This price reflects to a closer extent the happenings in the regional market. Millers are still drawing maize from FRA. We do not expect this price that we're announcing today to distort minimum prices for at least the next 1 month.
Reacting to the statements, Grain Traders Association of Zambia chairperson George Luakopoulos says the maize price will help in reducing smuggling, while urging government to consider opening up borders once the local market is satisfied.
Once we have the opportunity to assess how much maize has been produced, we call this the post-harvest report, which can be conducted and presented to the stakeholders sometime beyond October or November. At that point, we can assess and understand whether we have surplus quantities and whether we can consider opening for the export of maize.
Meanwhile, Millers Association of Zambia President Andrew Chintala says there is need to quickly release the 2023 crop forecast survey while calling for the relaxing of local movement restrictions for maize now that buying has officially started.
It remains a challenge to us without the crop forecast survey results to plan where and when to enter the market. We know that that information is quite critical because it is detailed in a sense that it is going to spell out where maize or certain quantities of maize is supposed to come.
The 2023 crop buying exercise is expected to create about 10,000 seasonal jobs, while FRA has committed to paying all farmers on time. Zipporah Mshala, Camnet News, Lusaka.
Quite interesting. Anyway, we're glad that they have rescinded their decision and they're now buying soybeans. You know,
they will be buying.
They will. You know, anyway, they've made. If government makes an announcement, meaning they will do so. So
and they've targeted. You know, it's even better that they've said the metric tons, meaning in this same farming season, because it closes in October. The crop marketing season closes in October. So meaning before then.
Anyway, all in all, we are glad that you know, farmers can have something to celebrate about, because last time when FRA announced that they were not going to be buying soybeans, you know, a lot of farmers did complain. We had a lot of cries from various stakeholders. Yeah. Despite the price not being good, anyway, the complaints that we're receiving that they've rejected the announced price by FRA that they'll be buying at 6 kwacha per kilogram, and then a 50 bag to 300 kwacha. We know that farmers are not happy, but at least FRA is buying something.
Definitely, and just now we do take a very, very short break, but join us as we continue discussing this very interesting topic.
It's time! Camnet TV brings to you an exciting kids show called My Creation. Join me, Sarah Chandamanga, as I get to interact with kids with special skills and talents between the age range of 9 to 17. This show will come to you every Saturday at 13:30 on Camnet TV, not just another channel.
The FARS 2022-2023 season is over, and the 2023 to 2024 season is around the corner. Camnet Stars Football Club, popularly known as the local national team, is looking for young talented football players from across Zambia, aged between 16 and 23 years old. Camnet soccer trials will be held on the 30th of June and the 1st of July 2023 in Lusaka at 09 hours. The venue is Kabulonga Boys Secondary School grounds. Your skills could earn you a place in the world of soccer greats in Zambia and the world. Camnet Stars Football Club, the local national team, is a team born for greatness with visionary players. Let us join hands and contribute to high levels of... Don't miss these trials. The future of Zambian soccer is dependent on you. Make a desk with us. Remember, you were born for greatness. See you there.
Committee proudly present Legacy on the Greens, a prestigious golf tournament commemorating the 10th anniversary of Mwine Lubemba Chitimukulu Kanyantamanga II's reign. Join us as we tee off with Mwine Lubemba Chitimukulu Kanyantamanga II on the 23rd of June at the exquisite Bonanza Golf Course in Lusaka, Zambia, for a day of elegance, camaraderie, and regal competition. Legacy on the Greens, celebrating Mwine Lubemba Chitimukulu Kanyantamanga II's 10th anniversary on the throne. Don't miss this regal affair. Reserve your place today.
Thank you so much for still staying tuned to the Camnet TV Breakfast Show. We are looking at the decision by government to start buying soybeans from farmers at 6 kwacha per kilogram. What's your take on that? And the 50 kg bag of soybeans at 300 kwacha. Give us your take, please. Those who are watching us live on Facebook, you can drop us a message, and those who are watching us in the comfort of your home, please do call us and give us your take on what you think about this decision by government. Is the price fair enough for the farmers? Yeah.
And quite interesting, Miriam. Earlier, this year we saw a story in May from Mumbwa district. A lot of farmers in Mumbwa, actually farm soybeans, and so the district commissioner there was just concerned, saying farmers are asking questions, where should they take their soybeans? And you saw, the Mumbwa Central Member of Parliament, they are Credo Nanjua, who said government is actually working in the background to solve that issue. And I think we've seen that, Miriam. At first we sometimes can think, oh, that's how stakeholders always talk, But he said government is working in the background to solve those issues, and for sure we've seen that pronouncement from the Food Reserve Agency. Let's just take a look at that story from Mumbwa. The outcry from soybean farmers across the country has been loud after the Food Reserve Agency FRA on 17th May 2023 through its board chairperson Kelvin Hambweza announced that they had over 100,000 metric tons of soybeans in reserves and therefore would not be buying from any farmers in the 2023 crop marketing season. President Hakainde Hichilema, during his mass briefing on 18th May 2023, advised soybean farmers to sell to private buyers. This has concerned many stakeholders, among them Mumbwa District Commissioner Namukolo Hayumbu, who expressed the sentiments Tuesday morning to Mumbwa Central Member of Parliament Credo Nanjua, fearing that soybean farmers will be exploited by private buyers.
The soybean farmers, they want to know what the government is going to do, because they did, actually, to be honest, people had more, they grew more soybeans than maize.
Responding to the fears, the Mumbwa Central Member of Parliament, who is also Central Province Minister, has however assured of government intervention.
The issue of farmers who have produced soybeans, I'm aware that there is a lot of soybeans this year in the province, and farmers feel frustrated that government is not buying. First of all, our farmers or the people should understand the reason why Food Reserve Agency was established. It is just there for strategic reserve. But that does not mean that government will stay aloof and watch the farmer being exploited. Government will not allow the buyers of soybeans to exploit the farmer in the country or in the province. Will not do that. A market will be there. The market is there. The only thing is to manage the market. That is, it doesn't exploit the farmer.
He says government will see to it that soybean farmers get value for their soybeans and not make any losses, despite FRA not buying. Zipporah Mshala, reporting for Camnet TV News. So that was a story there from Mumbwa District, where the DC was just expressing concern. And, but Miriam, we've also heard, some farmers being delighted.
Before even you go there, Zippo, the Central Mumbwa Central MP there spoke about, government will not allow, farmers being exploited by these private buyers. But someone would want to argue that, don't you think government is exploiting farmers when they're buying, soybeans at 6 kwacha per kilogram? And 300 kwacha per 50 kg bag?
Well, I think our viewers that can be give us their opinion, but anyway, that's the news from the Food Reserve Agency there. So the farmers actually are requesting for a better price from the Food Reserve Agency. And yesterday, there was a press briefing by some opposition members of Parliament, and I heard the PF acting president Gideon Ivinda saying we have pushed them to start buying soybeans. So I wonder, anyway.
I don't know, but I think that is like you covered this story earlier on from Mumbwa. where the MP did say, government is working in the background. I think there have been, some consultation being made in the background to ensure that how best they can resolve this issue and just start buying soybeans from farmers. Yeah, I think that was, and we do appreciate, that the opposition has been there to, play their role in offering the checks and balance and also pushing government to act on certain issues. We do appreciate the role that they have continued playing, but we should not also forget the fact that government was there in the background, to ensure that they come to this decision at the end of the day, and farmers are happy and not complaining that government is not buying soybeans from them this year.
Quite interesting. That's what our viewers were discussing, the issue of government or of the Food Reserve Agency buying soybeans at 6 kwacha per kilogram and 300 kwacha per 50 kilogram bag. What is your take on that? And Miriam, another issue that is trending in the agriculture sector is the issue of distribution of farming inputs. So we've been told that some areas have begun receiving compound fertilizer. And just when I was in Katete, the Eastern Province Minister, Honorable Peter Piri, there was saying, we don't hear stories that, I sold my fertilizer because you gave me early. There are always issues in the agriculture sector.
There are always issues.
If you give them late, it's an issue. You give them early,
it's an issue. Late, it's an issue. It's complaint after complaint. Then we see, different people from various sectors, condemning government. You're given early. It's also an issue. But I think the issue of giving them early, that's a very good, step that government is taking right now, so that we don't face certain challenges that we faced, this year and last year. Yeah.
So it would be a sad situation if people start selling the fertilizer. Maybe it becomes a business venture.
No, but we saw from the agriculture minister saying that if you start selling, it's not good anyway, affecting your own self.
And another issue really is about storage. Miriam, there have been concerns that most farmers do not have where to store their maize.
Others would rather smuggle them, because Katete, when you talk about Katete, you go to Chipata there, it's just near Malawi.
And if you're in Luangwa, it's near Mozambique. So I'm sure the market is big.
Yeah, the market is big, but smuggling, again, it's a non-issue, because government will definitely pounce on you. And you lose your vessel. Maybe you are using your motorbike to transport the same product. You'll find that when government courts you, they catch you, all those things will be confiscated from you.
And you'll be arrested.
Yeah, and you'll be arrested and charged.
And the minister did, actually emphasize that the banning of exports of maize is still on. He actually emphasized in Katete, saying it is still on, let us not catch you exporting this maize out of the country. So Miriam, another concern that was brought by stakeholders, I think the time I covered FRA's announcement on 17th May, is that they were calling for government to loosen restrictions now that the crop marketing season has opened. Because, you find that maybe the people transporting maize to satellite depots for sale, and then they don't know you're smuggling. We'll get your maize, we'll get your truck. Now that the crop marketing season, has opened, because there's so many, you need to have so many papers. You need to have this paper, this shows that, okay, this has been allowed for movement. So they're saying for local movement, let it be, loosened, so that people can actually sell their maize freely.
Yes, smuggling. Yes, smuggler. This is the same word we continue hearing from the leadership movement party, when we would say, your government has started giving the people different names. You do this, you sell your own products, you're called a smuggler, you're given different titles. But anyway, it's again at the best interest of citizens at the end of the day.
So we do hope, we see those restrictions lessened, and I really can't wait, for the FRA to announce when they will officially start buying. Then we'll actually cover those stories. And even as we go towards conclusion, Miriam, there's another concern that was raised, in Katete, is that they want payments to be done quickly. They're saying previously they've had stories of, they've had issues of, they sell the maize, they sell their different crops, payment is a challenge. But the minister, is assuring them that within 7 days they'll get paid. So they're hoping for that.
And we hope that all the finances are ready and in check, so that we don't start receiving complaints again from the farmers on this same issue of, them not receiving their payments early.
Anyway, Miriam, this is how we do come This is where we wrap up our interesting breakfast show this morning, where we were discussing earlier on, we were discussing trending issues in the community. We saw a story of bleaching, we saw a story of defilement, we saw a story there from Shangombo district, and now we're discussing the decision by the Food Reserve Agency, FRA, to buy soybeans at 6 kwacha per kilogram and 300 kwacha per 50 kg bag. So this is where we do come to the end of our breakfast show. But remember to join us tomorrow and for the rest of the week on more interesting topics. Have a wonderful Monday.